shit though. Because if you
Yeah.
have good reason to think there's something to be jealous about legitimately, then I don't think it needs to stem from insecurity at all.
Well, but that would be like, I guess what I'm saying is that that would count as insecurity as well. Like,
Okay,
in
then
the sense that you're not. Yeah.
in that case, then I think despite it being seen as a bad word, like a negative word, then I don't think all insecurity is, it's not unjustified.
No. There's a lot of insecurity. I mean, for example, people talk about food insecurity, right? As in, like, they don't know if they're gonna be fat tomorrow, right? So that's very, very rational.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I think it's pretty normal. I think most people think it's a bad thing, and a lot of people pretend that they don't experience it because it's seen as a bad thing.
It could be a bad thing if you let it like control certain aspects of your life, and then you let it like
Yeah.
make you act
I
or do
think
things that you wouldn't normally
if it
do.
makes you irrational, if you're
That's it. Yes,
paranoid,
absolutely. There you go. If it
yeah,
makes you irrational
if you become
and you
paranoid
jump into
about it, it's a
conclusions
problem.
and you accuse without proof or
Yeah.
whatever, yes, that could
Yeah.
be a
But
problem.
it's like if your partner's, hanging out with their ex every night, I don't think you need to be that insecure about yourself to think something's going on here. I'm a little jealous about whatever the fuck it is. I don't think like that. That's very different than I'm just imagining scenarios out of nowhere.
No, that's it.
Interesting. Okay, so then all three of you guys have experienced jealousy. So then, if it's not
And
an
so have
insecurity,
you.
And so have you,
motherfucker.
even though you don't want to admit it.
Exactly.
where have I experienced jealousy? Please.
I don't know. I'm not in your head. How the fuck am I
Exactly.
supposed to know?
Jealousy doesn't come about in my brain.
Yeah, you're just lying.
Wow. Why would I need to lie about? Okay,
I don't know why you're lying about it. I just know that you are.
Okay, so what I'm going to point out is like you guys have all experienced jealousy. So then if it wasn't an aspect of insecurity that fundamentally fueled jealousy to branch into all these different aspects of your life or how you want to view things, how did jealousy come about in those moments that you could clearly remember that you became jealous?
Huh?
I'll repeat the question.
How did you become jealous if there was no insecurity aspect from the jealousy being created? Like, what fueled the jealousy if it wasn't insecurity on your
Insecurity to me would mean that I'm thinking it must be because I'm not good enough or I suck. That's different. Wanting something like
insecurity can also be like, she's gonna find someone
You guys,
better.
can I take a bathroom break?
Yeah, you can go for it.
You may.
Okay.
Insecurity could also be like, she can find someone better. Someone's gonna pay her more to make her want to be in their presence. Like, insecurity is not just like something wrong with you. It could just be there's always better out there that she could potentially like. That's an aspect of insecurity. So if it wasn't any of that stuff, then what made the jealousy arise?
I think jealous in general is a weird word because the implication is like, oh, you want what somebody else has, but that's not even necessarily, I think, what it always is. Like,
yeah, that's where I was pointing out the other side where jealousy could just be that she's going to find someone else and someone potentially give her better. That's a form of jealousy too.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I think that's insecurity if there's no person attached to that.
Yeah.
If there's no like that, it's this person. You would be jealous maybe of that person that you think, oh, she would rather be with him or whatever. That would be the jealousy part. The insecurity would be if there's no person and it's just like, well, she probably could find better. Then that's the insecurity.
Okay. So now we're going with you. What caused you to be jealous in whatever scenario you have that you can recall that you became jealous?
I can remember with my first girlfriend, she talked to he was in Ireland, so I mean, I it's not like I thought they were actually doing physical shit, but Yeah, I remember feeling, and it may have been rooted in insecurity at the time. I mean, I
Uh-huh.
was 19 or 20 at the time, but
Okay.
that one sticks out as like I remember feeling jealousy in that moment. But that was probably rooted in some level of insecurity. I think we're kind of playing semantic a bit though with all
Okay.
of this, because whether you call it jealousy, insecurity, whatever, my point is just that it's not necessarily wrong, and certainly not abnormal to feel what we call those things. And I don't think it's just because of a societal expectation of it.
Mm. Okay. How about you, Angie? Can you recall a moment where you were like jealous, and you can clearly remember what caused the jealousy to erupt in you or whatever?
Well, look, me in general, I am not a jealous person, right? I'm gonna talk about something that I experienced when I was younger, and I mean, maybe this isn't the best experience, like the best example, because I was in an abusive relationship, right?
Uh-huh.
But yes, it was when I was younger, and honestly, I will say now, looking back at it, it was not right, because at the same time, like you said, yes, it was based on my insecurity. So being like with my first boyfriend, which anyways, I won't drop names, but I'm pretty sure you know who it was. um like
Oh, I'm
sometimes
good
I would
buddies.
but I would get really and like I said, this is when I was younger, and this is when I was still like discovering myself and whatever. I would get really jealous when my boyfriend would watch, like, we would like, movies, and there was hot girls, hip hop videos, booty, titties everywhere, and I was, that skin. So yes, it stemmed from insecurity, and it was so stupid because I would get really upset, and now that I look back at it, I realize how irrational it was. But yes, I did used to get really jealous when he would watch TV and would trip on all these girls, and I was like, but this is also a woman thing, right? We are insecure.
Yeah.
Magazines, videos, and all that
But with
shit
stuff
does
like
affect.
that, I think part of it is about that person's motivation. Because if you think they're doing it just to fuck with you, you're less likely to react that
It,
way. You know what I mean? If they're
yeah.
doing it, I don't know. If they're doing it as like a damn, I'd so much prefer to be fucking them than you, and there's like this longing in their eyes, then I
But
don't
then,
think it's
it's but
unreasonable
that's
to be like,
but then sometimes that's like when you do get jealous, you could see that thing if it's not really there. So let's say
hmm,
example, I'd be sitting watching a music video with my boyfriend. There's booty, titties all over the place, and I'd see him watching it, and I'd see, and like, mind you, we were younger too, right? And I see his
yeah,
lust in his eyes, whatever, and I'd be like, oh my god, he doesn't look at me that way. So then you start questioning yourself: are you good enough and everything? So yeah, that came from jealousy. But then, anyways, like I said, that was an abusive relationship. I got out of it. I went to therapy, and you realize your self-worth, and you realize, hey, it doesn't matter if someone looks at people on the streets or on the TV or whatever. But yeah,
sure.
that was something
But
that
at the same
me.
time, if they're that willing to be obvious about it, it
But it doesn't
could
matter in
be
the end. But that's it. Right now, being
what.
older, I realize it doesn't matter if it's obvious about it. It's on
No,
TV.
I know
Like,
it's not about, no, it's not about, oh, they're gonna go fuck that person. It's
no. But I
about
think I get what you're trying to
it's
say.
about what it means. Like, if they're that willing to make it obvious in front of you, it could say something about how they're taking your dynamic. So it's like, I think generally speaking, for me, if I was with a girl that I didn't want to feel jealous, if I didn't want her to feel jealous and I saw a hot girl on TV, I would just not react to it.
Okay.
You know what I
But
mean?
it's
I wouldn't
okay
lie
if
if
you
she
do.
asked
But me
me.
being
If
older
she
now,
asked
it's okay
me,
if you do.
but if she asked me if she was like, "Do you think she's hot?" I would say, "Yeah, she's super hot." But it wouldn't be like I would try to. It's like if they catch you looking at a girl in public, whether you play it up or downplay it might depend on how much you value them not being hurt by it. So it's like, if
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit if she was hurt by it, I'd be like, yeah, I'd like to break all the
But at
real.
the same time, it depends on the girl. Cause look, I have gone, like, me and my boyfriend have been in Cuba, and we're like, yo, look at this girl. Yo, look at this girl's booty. Like, me growing
Sure.
older also, I've appreciated the beauty of women. Like I said, I went through therapy, and
But
I learned what I like, and I found myself and all that garbage,
but
whatever it is.
that's it. Participating in it together is very different too.
No,
You know
but
what
I
I
didn't
mean?
participate together. I did it in
Well,
myself. And then in my relationships afterwards, that's when I learned, okay, what is reasonable, what is not crazy. But I lost my train of thought.
But I'm saying I think, yeah, and I don't think like, okay, Darnell, you're not totally off the mark in terms of most of that stems from insecurity. I'm just saying that the insecurity can be rational. That's all. It's like it can be founded in a reasonable thing. Like if they're doing this, then it means this and this.
And correct me if I'm wrong, I find that insecurity is more present in women. I could be wrong.
I maybe, but
or you guys hide it better.
Yeah, I think men hide it better.
Men are less likely to blatantly say, you know, it hurts me when you do that.
There's nothing wrong if men do, though. Like
there's nothing wrong, but men have been.
I'm just throwing that out there.
No,
there's nothing wrong.
If anything, yes. So being honest about that stuff is probably less. Being actually less. Whatever word you want to use. Not pussy, but you know what I mean.
Like, I get what you're. No, I get what you're.
Less cowardly to actually just be honest about the way you're feeling, but generally speaking, men would be more likely to hide it.
And there's a lot of pressure on men to hide that insecurity also because it's very, like you said, weak or whatever, and men aren't supposed to be.
Yeah, when it's almost expected it's almost expected that women will act that way, and it's frowned upon more if a man.
But you do have some men that are so jealous. Like just to go back to my ex, like we were on a beach. And I'd be in a bikini on a beach where everyone is in a bathing suit in a bikini on a beach. And if I had to walk across the beach to go to the bathroom, I had to put on clothes because he was so insecure. And if anyone looked at me, it was like, oh my God, like no one can look at me.
A man's insecurity, part of it, I think societally is because a man's insecurity is more repulsive than a woman's.
What do you mean?
It's more unattractive for a man to be insecure than a woman.
You find?
Yeah, I think a woman's more likely to be turned off by it than a man is.
But some men, though, when you talk about the dominant aspect of men, you know, men do have that more, testosterone makes you more dominant. It's more so. Is it really? Because some women do like that jealous man that's like, hey, no fucking other man's gonna look at my girl, and they're like, oh, it's because he loves me and he doesn't want anyone to. So anyways, that could be also a perception.
Sure, But I think generally speaking, women value confidence in men more than men value it in women.
Could be. Yeah. Yeah, because not to be,
I don't think like
go for girls who don't have much confidence.
On a list of a man's list of girls should have these characteristics.
Confidence
is lower.
Could scare a man, and women's confidence could scare a man away, which
yeah, it's not a requirement for men. Most women, if they were making their list, it's probably on the list. I would rather him be confident than not.
Yeah,
I always want a woman to be confident.
yeah, but that's it. But not everyone thinks like you. A lot of men want that dumb. And I don't mean to be rude towards them, but a lot of men want that dumb girl that lacks self-confidence that they could bring up and they could manipulate or whatever, know?
Yeah,
not every man wants a smart woman with a head on her shoulders that has an opinion and a voice and that's confident and that's successful and whatever, because then it makes them feel lesser than a man.
Yeah,
does that make you feel that way, Daniel?
Well, no, but first you'd have to find a smart woman, and that's
There we go.
No, I'm just men
but
value
a lot of men
different
can't
things.
handle a strong woman. A lot of men can't handle a strong, smart woman.
Yeah, that's what ladies tell themselves. They can't handle it.
No. Okay, not
too much
handle it.
But we just don't value it, is what I think. I don't think we value it. Like guys list. Usually, guys list is not smart. Like they don't. I don't want a total dummy, but it's not one of the top priorities. Like she's got to be, or she. I like it in the fantasy. She's this super bright person that can talk astrophysics or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Like a woman's smartness doesn't make her as much more attractive as a man's would to a woman. Which I think
I don't agree, but anyways, but that's my opinion. Right?
You don't agree that a smart woman doesn't become more an equal amount of more attractive as a smart guy would.
I think whether you're a smart man or a smart woman, I think smart is sexy.
To you, because you're a woman.
To me. So no matter
that's my point.
Yeah.
All right, guys. You guys are going off. Maxos, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, we are going off.
I might need to bring up a lengthy list of exceptions here. In fact, to me, I think I am more turned off by a smart woman than a smart man.
You're
But, I
turned
mean,
on or
he's got
turned
this
off? Sorry,
whole-
I didn't catch that.
Turned on,
Okay.
sorry.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
You're because it's more rare,
No, wait.
huh?
What's more rare? Hold
Um,
on. Because
Oh my
nowadays
God,
it's
Daniel.
more rare for smart men than smart women. Now, if you look at it, more women are getting educations and everything and successful jobs
No,
than
people are
men.
just less willing to say that a woman's dumb.
They're less willing to say.
They're less willing. If a woman's dumb, you say you're smart and brave and all this. But even if they're kind of dumb, I mean, there are plenty of smart ladies. Don't get me wrong.
No, for sure. And there's plenty of dumb ones too, just like there's dumb men
sure,
everywhere.
for
you know,
sure.
like
But-
it goes both ways.
But Maxos, this is what's
Sure.
weird about your bi input, but I'm interested in it. You
Look,
said
I mean,
you're
I'll be
more
honest, okay?
interested in a smart woman than a smart. Like it makes her sexier than a smart man.
Sorry, ask the question.
Well, no, I'm saying you're saying
Yeah.
a smart woman, her smarts is more likely to make her more sexy to you than a smart man. As a bi.
I think he's dropping.
Yeah. If
Yeah.
you're talking, we don't got you.
Yeah. Well, we can wait until he comes back because it is actually interesting to find out.
Yeah. I'm
yeah,
interested.
no, that's a
Oh,
very interesting
wait,
question.
I
I
think
want to
he's
hear
back.
his answer.
I think he's
Here we
back.
go.
Yeah, try again with your question.
I'm just saying, okay, so a